Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to start new chapter, chapter 5th, the fundamental unit of life. As the name suggests, the fundamental and structural unit of life is known as cell. So in this chapter we are going to study about cell. Now what we are going to study? Most of the part you have already studied in class 8th. Three basic parts of cell, that is cell membrane, nucleus, cytoplasm, specialized cell organelles present in cell, that we are going to study. Then about plant cell and animal cell, difference between them. These things we are going to study in this chapter. So let's start the chapter. You know, each and every living organism is made up of cell. The cells, they together form tissue. Tissue forms organs, organ form organ system, and this organ system forms a human body. It's not only about human body, it's same in animals and in plants also. Okay, so this cell is, this structural fundamental unit is present in all living organisms. Now the first slide, this is about timeline of cell discovery. The important impact made by different scientists in defining this cell and about knowing more about this cell. So you know Robert Hooke, he coined this term cell, and two important discoveries done by Matthias and Theodor in 1838 and 39. They discovered that plant cell and animal cells are made up of living cells. So just to go through once this timeline. Now you know cell are microscopic. That means they are of micron size. Okay, you cannot see them through naked eyes. You need microscope to see them. Now in school labs, generally what type of microscope we have is compound microscope. Maybe you have used this in class 8th. So here we have different parts of microscope. This is your eyepiece. This is your objective lens to magnify the image, to zoom out image. Here is a stage where you keep your sample. Here is the light adjustment, and these are different other adjustments. Now the slides maybe you have seen of onion peel or check cell, maybe onion peel you have seen. There you can see cytoplasm, plasma membrane and nucleus. Now to see more magnified image of microscope. So this microscope, compound microscope, it has certain limit. It cannot go beyond that. Now if you want to see more magnified image, you need to use electron microscope. Now here is the picture of electron microscope. You can see this is this red box is your electron microscope. You can see it's very big, comparable to this. You can see this person in this. If you compare this with combined microscope, there's a huge difference, and this difference pays out. This, like if you say this compound microscope, it can magnify any image in 2000 times, then this electron microscope, it can magnify the image up to 2 lakh times. So I'll show you one image that will tell you main difference between two. This compound microscope, it use light rays, whereas this electron microscope, as the name suggests, it use electrons to make image of particular slide or particular object. Now here is your two images. If you see, if you put this is your white and red blood cell, the sample of your blood. If you see under this microscope, what you can see is this. Okay, this type of image you can obtain from compound microscopes. So here you have red blood cells and white blood cells. At the same slide, if you keep over here, this is your electron microscope and this is your stage area. If you keep your sample over here, you can see a large image you can see in this microscope. This is your red blood cell and this is your white blood cells and this is your platelet. Okay. Now the common question arises, why cells are of micron size? Okay, the cells, they are of micron size because whatever process they do, they need to do it at a very fast rate and in a short amount of time. To that, if they are very big, they will take more time and it is difficult for them and for the nutrient gases to move in and out of the cell. Okay, so microscopic size help them to do this processes very fast. That's why they are of micron size. Now the next is your unicellular and multicellular organism. What are unicellular organisms? That are made up of single cells, and multicellular, as the name suggests, they are made up of large number of cells. So in unicellular, single cells perform all the activities, whether it is absorption, digestion, respiration, it is performed by single cell. Whereas in multicellular, you have different organ system for different activities. You have brain cells, skin cells, red blood cells, like that. Unicellular, another difference is their lifespan is relatively less, whereas they are long as compared to unicellular. Example, amoeba, bacteria is example of this unicellular, and human and plants, they are example of multicellular organism. Now these are various cells of human body. As you know, various cells, they have different size and shape according to their function. Okay, like let's say talk about red blood cells. Now the red blood cells, they have the spherical type of structure. Why? So that they can absorb oxygen. The spherical shape give them large surface area. They can bind oxygen to them easily, and more oxygen they can bind them. Similarly, nerve cell, if you see, there are many branches and elongated end branches. This is because they have to pass messages very fast. So this branch is small and this branch type help them to pass these messages. Similarly, if you see the sperm, they have long tail so that they can move easily. Then this is your muscle cell. They are elongated so that they can be flexible. You can move your hand, legs with flexibility. So different cells. Talk about any cell, they have specific shape to perform specific function, or you can say to perform specific function they have that shape. Now move to basic parts of cell. So as you know, there are three main basic parts of cells: plasma membrane, which is also known as cell membrane, nucleus, cytoplasm. And in slides we are going to study about these three basic parts only, one by one. So plasma membrane is also known as selectively permeable membrane, and the processes that we are going to study here is about diffusion and osmosis. Nucleus, main parts are nucleus membrane, nucleoplasm, nucleolus, chromosomes, chromatin. What are they? We'll study later on. Similarly, cytoplasm, it is a gel-like fluid that you know, and it has specialized cell organelles like Golgi bodies, lysosomes,